Good evening and welcome to News Watch this Wednesday, the 27th of October 2021. And thank you for joining us for the latest news on Hope TV. I'm Tony Omondi and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's begin our broadcast. Tanga legislators led by Alice Wahome, Irungu Kang'ata, Rigathi Gachagua and Ndindi Nyoro have raised a concern over the intensified engagement of cabinet secretaries in politics. Speaking on Wednesday, during a meeting with Murang'a church leaders at Deputy President William Ruto's residence in Karen, the MPs said that the cabinet secretaries are using their offices to openly campaign for ODM leader Raila Odinga, and yet they're supposed to be apolitical. Our reporter Kennedy Kimani begins our broadcast with this report.
Members of Parliament allied to the Deputy President William Ruto have accused Cabinet Secretaries Fred Matiang'i, Eugene Wamalwa and Joe Musheru of being ODM agents by claiming that the three CSs are using their offices to drum up support for ODM leader Raila Odinga instead of being neutral as the Constitution of Kenya requires them to. This comes days after CS Matiang'i endorsed Raila Odinga's presidential bid during a fundraiser in Nyamira County.
We want them to decide, Matiang'i, Musheru, Wamalwa, and the other cabinet secretaries. You must decide whether you are going to serve the Kenyan people and prepare our next general elections together with IEBC in a non-partisan manner, or you are going to be agents and mobilizers of ODM and the opposition. The electoral process in Kenya is sacrosanct. It should be above board. It should be prepared in a way that is fair and in a way that is acceptable to the eyes of the Kenyan people.
Murang'a Senator Irungu Kang'ata claims that the three CSs had declared who they will support and who they want in the 2022 elections, hence making them unqualified to be part of the institutions working with IEBC on the preparations of next year's elections. Rigathi Gachagua added that the IEBC is independent and should therefore have no business with the CSs.
CS Matiang'i and CS Musheru. Those two public servants have made a public declaration about the candidate they are going to support in 2022. And therefore, they do not have the competence to superintend elections this year because they are partisan. We want to tell the two ministers, step aside, allow non-partisan independent body to conduct elections, because once that happens, the Kenyans are going to have faith in the electoral system.
Nataka kumuuliza Wafula Chebukati. IEBC is independent. You have no business calling Fred Matiang'i and Musheru to a meeting when it is in public domain that they have already taken sides. They are not independent to plan elections with them. So we want to ask Wafula Chebukati to do a letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta and outline clearly the mandate of the IEBC as an independent institution and why the IEBC cannot work with ministers who have clearly taken sides and become campaigners and youth wingers of Raila Odinga.
A Kandara Member of Parliament Alice Wahome said that Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy will be assured only if there is a peaceful transition.
I want to suggest to His Excellency, asitafute legacy mbali. Let His Excellency make his legacy peaceful transition of one presidency to another.
Deputy President William Ruto, however, continued to campaign for his bottom-up economic model, saying that it is the only approach that guarantees jobs for millions of young people.
We must fix matters to do with unemployment because inafanya watoto wetu wajiingize katika biashara ambayo si mzuri. Wengine wanaingia uhalifu, wengine wanaingia kwa madawa, wengine wanaingia kwa ulevi, wengine wanaingia kwa mambo ambayo hata wengine wanaingia kwa depression. We must sort it out.
Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV News Watch, Nairobi.
Members of the special task force formed by Kisii County government following extrajudicial killing of 4 women over witchcraft allegations in the region have debunked the reasons for their appointment. Speaking during the burial of one of the women lynched during the recent incident in Mwamunari location, Marani sub-county. The members said the task force was not meant to investigate witchcraft, but to find out the force factors behind the labeling of the elderly women as perpetrators and come up with mitigation measures.
Tumecommit kuongea na watu wa task force na community, tutaendelea kufanya kazi pamoja tukomeshe kabisa haya mambo, haya mauaji kwa vijiji yetu.
Na hii kamati ikimaliza maneno, baada ya uchunguzi itafanywa hapa Kidudu Chache North na sehemu zote za Kisii County. Ripoti itatengenezwa na wananchi wa Kisii watasoma hiyo ripoti. Hiyo ndio njia moja ambayo inaangaliwa ya kwenda kumaliza hii mambo ambayo sio mazuri.
Tunaendelea na uchunguzi kuhusu kile kisa kilifanyika hapa ambapo kilipelekea mauaji ya wakongwe wanne. Nataka kusema kufikia saa hii tumeweza kufikisha kwa mahakama washukiwa 6 ambao kesi yao inaendelea mahakamani. Kwa saa hii bado kuna wengine ambao tunashughulikia ama tunatayarisha mashtaka, na kuna wale pia wachache ambao bado tunatafuta ambao wameweza kujificha. Lakini nataka kusema kwamba kazi ya uchunguzi wa kisa hizo inaendelea vizuri, na nataka kushukuru wananchi pia kwa kuendelea kutupatia information ambayo inakuwa ushahidi wa kuweza kushtaki hawa washukiwa. Zile families ambazo ziliathirika pia tumeweza kuzitembelea kama serikali kujaribu kuangalia mahitaji yao baada ya kuondokewa na wapendwa wao. Tunajaribu pia kuhakikisha ya kwamba mali ya wale marehemu imeweza kutunzwa vizuri. Kwa mfano kama ardhi, tunahakikisha kwamba ile process ya kufanya succession imeanzishwa na inaendelea kulingana na sheria, kuhakikisha ya kwamba ni wale tu ambao wanastahili kubenefit kwa ile ardhi ndio wataweza kubenefit.
Away from that, striking Embu healthcare workers have maintained that there is no turning back until the grievances are addressed by the county government, even as local leaders threaten to sue the county administration for failing to resolve the issue and alleviate the suffering of patients. Kenya National Union of Nurses non-national chair Joseph Ngwasi said despite holding several sittings with the employer, no solution is forthcoming with regards to their grievances. The workers have complained that deductions, including pay as you earn, NHIF, HELB, as well as bank loans, have for months not been remitted to respective institutions despite being captured on their payslips. The health workers have held 3 demonstrations since the strike commenced on October 11th.
Mambo ya hospitali kuwa unaachilia wafanyikazi mpaka inafika mahali mpaka wanagoma, hiyo ni kama kuua watu. Hakuna njia mbili, hiyo ni murder straight. Mimi kama kiongozi nauliza wale watu ambao walichaguliwa ambao wachunge pesa ya wananchi wa county government ya Embu, wakati inakuliwa ama wakati pesa inakuwa embezzled kama sasa vile tunaona hospitali imefungwa, mbona wamenyamaza? Kwani wanakula na wenye wanakula hiyo pesa?
We want to make it clear that we are pursuing these matters that are affecting the community because we want these solutions to be once and for all. Because remember, if we give good services, that is beneficial to the people we are serving. If we agitate for commodities, for supplies, for infrastructure, good infrastructure, and for this we are not referring to Embu level 5 because we've seen most of leaders when they talk, they just refer to Embu level 5. Embu County is made up of so many facilities. Therefore, when we say that there is lack of drugs, let us not concentrate on Embu level 5. When we say that this facility lack infrastructure, let us not look at the buildings that have been built in Embu level 5. We are serving people across the county, and we want everybody to benefit as a resident of this country.
Ni mijengo inaendelea kila pahali kwa mahospitali yetu.
Mijengo sio huduma, tunataka huduma. Tunataka daktari wewe huko, tunataka madawa yawe kwa mahospitali yetu. Hii mambo ingine yote, hii ni mambo ambayo hatuwezi kuelewa. Na ni mambo lazima mahospitali yetu ifunguliwe.
Kenya on Tuesday this week crossed the 5 million mark in the COVID-19 vaccination exercise after a total of 5,029,901 people were vaccinated. According to the Ministry of Health, the uptake of the second dose is still on course as the government hopes to vaccinate 10 million people by December. Dickens Luvanda reports.
Kenya is on the right track in its COVID-19 vaccination efforts after crossing the 5 million vaccination drive mark on Monday, October 25th. As of Monday, a total of 5,029,901 vaccines had so far been administered across the country. Of these, 3,545,060 were partially vaccinated after only receiving the first dose, while those who had been fully vaccinated were 1,484,841. The Ministry of Health says that it has so far received 8,006,820 vaccines, including AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, Sinopharm, Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, which are being deployed in the vaccination exercise as the country looks forward to vaccinating 10 million people by December 2021. As of Monday, the COVID-19 positivity rate stood at 2.1%, just few days after President Uhuru Kenyatta on Wednesday last week ordered for the immediate lifting of the dusk to dawn curfew that was in force since March 2020, a clear indication that the virus was slowly being kicked out. Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
The Ministry of Education, in conjunction with the Ministry of Interior and Treasury, has hit the ground running with the construction of classrooms project. This is part of the directive issued by President Uhuru Kenyatta to support the transition of the first cohort into junior secondary school under the new competency-based curriculum. The project should see over 10,000 classrooms constructed by local contractors in each county. Grace Wangoi tells us more.
That we adequately prepare the country for the next phase of CBC, which is the junior high school, and to further facilitate the 100% transition from primary to secondary.
Following this directive by President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Ministry of Education, in collaborative efforts with the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Treasury, has embarked on the classroom building project. The project should see the building of 10,000 classrooms across the country at a cost of 8 million and should be completed by April 2022. As Stern Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha, speaking to administration officers drawn from various parts of the country, including regional commissioners and chiefs, called on officers to work as a team. According to Magoha, their duty will be to identify local contractors for each construction project in the various counties, as was directed by President Uhuru Kenyatta on Madaraka Day.
I hereby order and direct as follows: that the Ministry of Education, jointly with the Ministry of Interior and the National Treasury, shall establish a framework for the construction of over 10,000 classrooms needed to provide the additional learning space for the 1 million new students set to join junior secondary.
The move to use local contractors should see government remain cost-effective as local contractors deliver services at a lower rate, as well as stir up local economies. The government used a similar tactic when it used local artisans for the construction of over 600,000 desks for both primary and secondary schools.
People will ask, oh, are you sure these people are qualified? Even when you give contracts to big corporates, they go back to these fundis. In fact, I'm looking at my own village home, and I can already see about 4 or 5 different groups who have a roadmap of building classrooms over the last 30 years. Are we going to identify them or not? You must identify them so that this money goes The way the president wants, the money goes to the lowest person and stimulates the economy coming upwards. But that's not to say if somebody's going to do a 4-story building, you can't look for somebody who is competent.
Magoha went on to further call on the chiefs who will be supervisors at the construction sites to remain alert to ensure deadlines are met and contractors are paid. This, he says, will be of benefit for the implementation of the new competency-based curriculum.
Please let us make sure that we give government value for money, and the naysayers who think, oh, how are you going to produce classrooms at that price? As we speak, there are people who are producing classrooms at prices below what we have given you. I want to thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is a team. There is no leader. And in the team, everybody is important. And the team is as strong as the weakest link.
Drawing from his personal experience, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who spoke in the same forum, quickly pointed out that the cost of government projects has been known to be high due to overpricing from contractors. Matiang'i went ahead to direct that all contractors be paid electronically, saying it was the only way to ensure no repetition of what happened in the past when artisans complained that they had been shortchanged.
So when you meet these contractors, ensure that they are properly briefed in terms of the information we need, their records, their payment, and so on. So that we are able to move money electronically very fast, and it goes to the intended service providers. I need to be very clear on this matter. We are not going to pay any other way other than through M-Pesa. We are going to wire money to the contractors.
Grace Songoi for Hope TV News Watch.
Nyeri residents with pending water bills can now breathe a sigh of relief after the county's water utility firm announced that it will waive 100 million shillings worth of bills. Nyeri Water and Sanitation Company, Nyewasco Managing Director Peter Kahudhu said the pending bills under consideration for relief date back to March 2020 when the country was battling COVID-19 pandemic. At the same time, the company has suspended water disconnections for domestic consumers as it seeks to employ alternative measures to recover debts from consumers. On its Facebook page, Nyewasco has invited consumers with billing complaints to a resolution forum on October 29th as a way of quelling the growing disquiet from consumers over alleged unjustified inflation.
We are going to engage with WASREB and the county government. And I think the waiver is for the period when we are going to engage. Otherwise, no more disconnections shall resume once we have been able to sort the issues at hand and every customer is happy. It is a right of our customer, and we encourage them that they pay their bills to ensure that at least the company remains sustainable.
The issue of tariff is not set by the company. Neither is it regulated by the county government. The mandate falls to the Water Service Regulatory Board. However, concurrence from the county government must be sought. In keeping with the WASLAB regulation, Nyewasco went through the process of tariff review by WASLAB, and the tariff was approved and gazetted for implementation in April 2021. It is my understanding that WASLAB has been deliberately reviewing tariff to favor the low-income households. It is important to note the company has requested for approval to waive outstanding bill accumulated during the COVID-19 period, March 2020 to June 2021, to further cushion the residents in Nyeri. The board of Nyeri is working closely with the county government to resolve the issue, and will continue to do so until final and amicable conclusion is reached.
The county government of Narok has released 75 million shillings bursary with the aim of attaining 100% transition to secondary school. The county governor, Samuel Tinai, said the money will be distributed to the 30 wards in the county so as to benefit needy learners who cannot afford to pay for their secondary school education. The governor, who spoke at Olokurto ward during the launch of the funds, said his administration is working closely with the national government to ensure the realization of 100% transition policy.
Nimetoa tayari basari ya milioni 75 ambayo nimepatia hawa ya kupatia watoto wa shule. Transition rate county hii saa hii ni 98%. Ile 2% tutafuata waende kwa shule wote. Tuko pamoja.
And the county government of Kilifi has commenced a mediation process between the owner of a 339-acre piece of land in Kadzuhoni area of Magarini constituency and squatters occupying the disputed land. The county administration's legal team, led by the county attorney, Bibi Fondo, has already met with the landowner, who has reportedly agreed to stop any action against the squatters to await the outcome of the proposed negotiations. On Tuesday, the more than 3,000 squatters, under the directives of Governor Amason Kingi and Magarini Member of Parliament Michael Kingi, formed a committee to spearhead the talks in order to find a lasting solution to the decade-long dispute.
Inasikitisha, ile muda ambao tumehangaika kwa Kadzuhoni imechukua muda ambao umetukata tamaa. Manake kila kukicha ni watu ambao tunapeleka makotini. Mkono wangu wa kushoto umejaa novels, vitabu hivi vya mahakama, kuanzia kushtakiwa na Benyenye na judgment zake pamoja na ruling zake za skuli zinje.
Hii kesi tutafuatilia, vile vile tutafanya nini? Tutakuwa tunaongea na hawa mabwana, tujue tutaelewana vipi. Na mimi naomba kupitia waziri wa ardhi katika gatuzi letu, naomba yale mazungumzo, saa hii kesi bado inaendelea, hatujachoka kwenda mahakamani, lakini tutafuata njia zote mbili. Ya kwamba waziri wa ardhi utajua venye hii kamati ambayo imeundwa, ambayo ndio macho wa kazi wa Kadzuhoni, ni vipi inakuwa katika mstari wa mbele, hasa sana kuongea na hao, kwa sababu mahakama ni kama imesema ile karatasi iko halali, ni sawa. Tukasema kwamba ni vipi tutaweza ongea na hao mabwana.
Ile kamati ambayo mtaichagua hapa itakuwa na mwezi mmoja ya kukaa na yule bwana. Ikiwa ni maelewano, ni kamati ile kupenda, si gavana wala wakili wala nani. Ile ambao mimi naomba na naimani itafanyika ni kwamba kabla sijatoka katika kiti cha ugavana wa Kilifi, I'm entitled to have.
Well, that story takes us to a fast commercial break. On Newswatch, you still have more to come. To stay with Hope TV.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the x-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit ikakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more. You've done everything for me. You've done everything for me. Join us every Sunday for unlimited, uplifting, powerful worship, only on Extended Worship.
Welcome back to Newswatch. President Uhuru Kenyatta has said Kenya's ambition is to become a continental leader in sustainable development by scaling up usage of low-carbon transportation systems and practicing smart agriculture. The head of state, who spoke on Wednesday during the opening of the IGAD Climate Prediction and Application Center, ISPAC, in Kajiado County, said the country had made tremendous progress in green energy utilization and was on course to supporting other Horn of Africa nations to develop their renewable energy capacities. Here's Dolly Murigi with more.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has hailed the new facility as a giant step in the fight against climate change on the region, pointing out that the center will hasten innovation technologies and knowledge to advance climate-related work. The president said Kenya's continued investment in renewable energy has earned the country global recognition, adding that the country is now keen on partnering with stakeholders such as IGAD in the promotion of green industries.
Kenya is committed to become a continental leader in sustainable development. We have made considerable progress in renewable energy, where we have earned global recognition, and we are scaling up low-carbon transportation systems, climate-smart agriculture, but also working with our brothers and sisters in the Horn to help them develop their renewable energy capacity.
ISPAC is a climatic center accredited by the World Meteorological Organization that provides climate services to 11 East African nations. Services provided by the center aimed at creating resilience in a region deeply affected by climate change and extreme weather patterns.
I am pleased to note that the center has over the years enabled the Horn of Africa to grow a cadre of climate scientists and create strong networks with other regional and international organizations to provide evidence-based approaches towards the empowerment of vulnerable populations in our region. The services that the center provides include climate forecasting, disaster risk management, climate change, agriculture and food security, environmental monitoring, water and energy, climate information, and capacity development.
In his address, Environment and Forestry CS Keriako Tobiku said Kenya's key economic drivers were vulnerable to climate change and thanked ISPAC for the critical role it's played in supporting vulnerable communities to adapt to the phenomenon.
Kenya is delighted to host this Center of Excellence on Climate Change.
The establishment of the IGAD Climatic Predictions and Application Center has been a response to recurring drought and other natural disasters in our region. Dolly Murigi, Hope TV, Newswatch.
Politicians in Siaya County have been accused of not doing enough to mobilize locals to register as voters, as the county registered a paltry 12% of its target so far. A stakeholder meeting that brought together Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC officials and political party leaders in the region lamented that lack of coordination among sitting and aspiring politicians and other government officials has resulted to apathy. Addressing the media after the meeting, Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, voter registration coordinator for Nyanza region, Ruth Adhiambo Odinga, said local politicians were running individual mobilization efforts without proper coordination.
The remaining 1 week, it can make a difference. Even a day makes a big difference. Yeah. If each chief and sub-chief decided to go to the village and just come with 10 people to our registration class, we have to like even 1,000 in 1 week. Yeah? Just from chiefs, leave alone those who are coming by themselves. So we can make a difference.
Siaya so far has not even made it up to over 12%. In voter registration on the targeted IBC figures that were given out. And for us to say dismally that we can't even manage 12% is really, there's really something wrong. It could be lack of coordination between the administration, the political clout, and also the ODM fraternity and the IBC and ID. All four Nyanza Luo counties are doing dismally in voter registration. We are different. Kisii is doing well, Nyamira is doing well, okay, Kuria, Migori is doing okay, but Nyanza, Luo is not doing well.
Mombasa ODM party chairman Mohamed Khamis has dismissed reports that ODM is losing popularity in the coastal city. Khamis says Mombasa and the coastal region in general has been a strong political base for the party led by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. According to him, the party's popularity is still high and many aspirants will be jostling for the party's ticket in the 2022 general election.
Tumezungumza mambo mengi, tumezungumza kuhusu issues za registration, tumezungumza kuhusu registration ya IBC, tumezungumza issues za registration ya chama, tumezungumza namna ambazo tutapanga mimi na wao kustrengthen chama chetu cha ODM ndani ya Mombasa. Tumekubaliana kwa sauti moja kuanzia leo sote tutakuwa tunatembea pamoja na wao. Wamenieleza kama wabunge wa ODM changamoto walizokuwa nazo ndani ya miaka 4 ndani ya bunge hili, na nimewaambia tupange mkutano ili tuweze kupanga namna Mungu akituweka hai tutakavyo run the next ODM government itakayokuja kuendesha assembly hii, Mungu akipenda. Kama tujuavyo, hii area yote ya Mombasa bado ni ODM na itabaki kuwa ODM.
Nafikiri waheshimiwa wakati walivyokuwa wakiongea katika ile mkutano wetu tuliokuwa nao hapo ndani, changamoto yao kubwa sana ilikuwa ni kuhusu nomination. Wanasema kwamba nomination haikui free and fair, lakini Bwana Chairman ameweza kuhakikishia kuwa huu ni uongozi mpya na atakuwa na nomination ya free and fair. So tunaambia aspirant wowote pamoja na hawa ndugu zangu ambao MMC wako hapa, watu wajitokeze kwa wingi kwa chama cha ODM na tutakuwa na free and fair nomination.
Now, breast cancer is one of the most fatal type of cancer, and being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Kenyans have been encouraged to go for screening even as the government continues to scale up measures and research to beat the treatable disease. Our reporter Faith Imani Mugo had a chat with an oncologist and prepared for us the following story.
According to a recent research, approximately 1 in 8 women, accounting to 13%, will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer in their lifetime, and 1 in 39 women, accounting to 3%, will die of breast cancer, making it most prevalent type of cancer across the world. According to Professor Othieno Abinya, this type of cancer, though treatable, can be a life-threatening disease if not detected early, as it can spread to other parts of the body.
Breast cancer is one of the commonest, in fact the commonest among women in our country, and the most curable if diagnosed early. The most curable.
So, what characterizes breast cancer?
Breast cancer would commonly present as a lump, and people would feel it when they're bathing, they hit a lump and they say, oh, something is there, or a little pain, and they feel, oh, that doesn't sound like I've never felt that before. That doesn't feel abnormal. They feel it even better, and they feel, oh no, that is something, okay? And they may see, they go to a mirror, they may see even a distortion of the nipple, they may see a distortion of the breast, they may see asymmetry on their breast. If they go in front of a mirror, then they know something is happening and they must seek medical help. But then there are those whose cancers are really deep-seated and they don't even feel it, and it will metastasize. And the first time you feel it, you are coughing because it has gone to the lungs. Your liver is failing, you are yellow, you are jaundice, you are bleeding. They are in bone and they are breaking your bone. So those unfortunate ones are also there.
Whereas there are some risk factors of breast cancer that can't change, such as age and genes, a rise in a number of cases also points towards some lifestyle-related factors.
If you took a population where there are millions of obese women, and another population, millions of lean women, post-menopause, the population with millions of lean women will have fewer of them developing breast cancer. But this does not apply to individuals. You see that? Then use of things like hormone contraceptives, things like alcohol drinking is known to be associated with breast cancer, and several others.
Did you know that having children late in one's life and also failure to breastfeed one's children at whichever stage of life can be a risk factor of breast cancer? Well, some people, however, suffer from misconception that relates to breast cancer.
So people think it is caused by all kinds of things, it's witchcraft, and also things like cures. People think you can cure cancer by all manner of things, which is a misconception. And then they have this belief that cancer cannot be treated locally, that cancer can only be treated in some countries outside this country. And those are lies told by those people for commercial purposes, accepted that it is not true that we can treat all cancers here effectively. There are some which need to go out.
Although breast cancer is dominantly associated with women, doctors now say about 1% of all breast cancers are detected in men.
In our country, again, male breast cancer is about 2 to 3%. The rest are female. In Europe, North America, they may be 1%. So if a man has an abnormality in their breast, they feel they should not shy away from going to be examined.
Breast cancer treatment depends on the stage, and it may consist of surgery, chemotherapy, and radiotherapy.
Solid cancers are treated by surgery. Cutting them out is a major way of controlling them. Then there's radiation. And then there's what people call chemotherapy, but today it goes beyond chemotherapy. There are lots of other drugs which are not chemotherapy. They are biological drugs, targeted drugs, monoclonal antibodies and the rest. But ordinarily we combine these. Like a breast cancer comes up, an early breast cancer comes up, if you have started with surgery, depending on the stage, you will do chemotherapy and radiotherapy and use other drugs.
As the society glares at the disease, some of the questions, however, have also been on how one can watch out for symptoms.
Self-breast examination helps in at least getting it detected before it goes too late. Things like ultrasounds, mammograms at the appropriate age, if they can be done for screening, actually should be done for screening, and diagnosed early. So healthcare workers should not dismiss women who complain that their breast is abnormal until they have done adequate tests.
Faith Imani Mugo for Hope TV Newswatch.
Let's now look at what is happening internationally. Cameroon has postponed the rollout of its third COVID-19 vaccination campaign, which had been scheduled to run from Wednesday until 31st October. Public Health Minister in the country, Dr. Manuda Malache, said the campaign will begin on 17th November this year. The authorities hope to administer 400,000 doses of the vaccines. Many Cameroonians are still reluctant to take up vaccinations, preferring to use traditional drugs. Last week, the country's teachers' unions wrote to President Paul Biya threatening to strike if vaccination was to be made mandatory. According to the health minister, only 3% of Cameroonians have received a first dose and 1.1% are fully vaccinated. In Kabul, Afghanistan, the main children's hospital is struggling after the crumbling of the country's health system. According to reports, staff are exhausted amid a strained system and diminishing stocks of medicine. Reports by international media indicate that medical staff are squeezing up to 3 babies into a single incubator due to lack of enough supplies. Nurses who once took care of 3 or 4 babies each are now having to look after 20 or more to make up for the absence of staff who fled the country when the Taliban seized power in August. The medical team has not been paid in months and often struggles even to pay their car fare to work.
Dad! Gari mpya! Umetoa wapi gari mpya?
Optiven wametusort.
Optiven?
Nunua any of our value-added properties ama redeem installment ya property yako. Kwa kila malipo ya 10,000 unapata 1 entry point kwenye draw ya furahia na Optiven promotion. Airtime kushindaniwa kila siku, holiday kila wiki, shinda ploti na gari kila mwezi na grand prize ya Mercedes-Benz C180. Ni rahisi, buy ama redeem na ushinde na furahia na Optiven.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
Welcome back. Let's continue with business news. Equity Afya, the medical franchise of Equity Group Foundation, EGF, has opened 3 more medical centers in Machakos, Kiserian and Eldoret. The opening of the 3 new facilities brings the number of facilities opened this year to 14 and the total number of medical centers within the network to 47. The Equity Afya medical centers will serve the needs of local communities through offering comprehensive outpatient care.
Our purpose is to transform lives and livelihoods. We are there because of fulfilling that purpose. So when we started, we wanted to start a healthcare franchise that will be impactful in healthcare, and we will transform the landscape of healthcare in Kenya. There are 35 clinics that are already operational. Every location that we have gone, they have made such a difference. In most of the locations, there are many clinics. Within 1 year, they become the top clinics.
The advantage of Equity Afya, which is why we're here today, is that we saw that need of supporting our people, because there's no business without people. So supporting our people to ensure that they are healthy, they can produce more, then they can give us business on the other side. The social side and the economic side must go together.
We are ready to offer affordable and quality services to the people of Murang'a and beyond. We have all the services available. They'll be under one umbrella, and we promise our patients and the residents of Murang'a and beyond that we are not going to disappoint.
Faulu Microfinance Bank Limited has launched a digital banking app dubbed Faulu DigiCash app that allows its retail and business clientele to access cashless banking as the bank ramps up its strategic focus on technology to drive value and better manage customer relationships. The bank says it's targeting to reach 1 million customers within a year, both existing and potential, as it rolls out its technology strategy, which has digitized its entire operations. Faulu Bank CEO Apollo Njoroge says the app solution offers convenience to customers by bringing the bank to where they are, enhancing efficiency and reducing transactional costs.
It's a solution that allows you to be able, it's a solution that's fully integrated to the major telcos in this country. So it means if you need to pull out money, if you need to push money, it has those capabilities. It's a solution that allows you to pay money to anybody you need to pay through the RTGS solutions that we have been able to have in place. So you don't have to come to the bank to fill a form for an RTGS. You don't need to come to the bank to apply for a checkbook. All this, the application has all those capabilities. What is also unique about the application that we are launching, it will allow traders who want to apply for bid bonds to do it from the comfort of to be able to do it directly on the phone. So you can do a bid bond, we can do performance bonds on this application. The menu option is huge. For bank assurance, it's also a big offering that we have in that solution. It's a solution that then allows you to be able to pay for your insurance policies. If you want to do the general insurance, if you have medical insurance policies you need to apply for, all those capabilities are in place.
The government of Tanzania has cleared its capital arrears in Shelter Afrique after paying the outstanding amount of $407,284. The Pan-African Housing Development Financier has disclosed. The move now takes Tanzania's shareholding in the company to 1.72%, up from 1.54% held previously. In September, Tanzania paid $2.7 million capital contribution, significantly increasing its stakes in the company. Within the last 6 months of 2021, the company received more than $20 million in additional capital contributions from Kenya, Cameroon, Tanzania, Mali, Rwanda, Uganda, Togo, Swaziland, Ivory Coast, and Democratic Republic of Congo. And to some sports news now. Legendary Kenyan rugby player Humphrey Kayange has been inducted into the World Rugby's Hall of Fame. The World Rugby Hall of Fame is a career award which recognizes players with an outstanding contribution to the game of rugby throughout their careers, demonstrating rugby's character-building values of integrity, passion, solidarity, discipline, and respect on and off the field. The decorated rugby player appeared at 2 Commonwealth Games in 2010 and 2014 and was a member of the team that won Kenya's first ever World Series Cup title in Singapore in 2016. Kayange finished his career on the World Series as Kenya's third highest point scorer in rugby sevens with 799 points and 159 tries. And Rubis Energy Kenya has embarked on an exciting corporate social responsibility partnership with the Kibra Black Stars Association, KBS, to promote social integration and improve livelihoods within the Kibra community. Speaking during the handover of a branded bus leased in partnership with Logse and DT Dobi to the association to support sporting activities of Kibra Black Stars FC, Rubis Energy Kenya Group Managing Director and CEO East Africa, Jean Christian, emphasized on the need for organizations, employees, customers, shareholders, and community members to work together for the benefit of the society.
NSL is very tough. It's a very tough terrain, and you have to plan well to negotiate it. Logistically, we are sorted. Now, it's up to us technically to try and find the best method possible to negotiate the terrain. It's not easy, considering that this time around again there'll be a lot of away matches because there are so many teams outside Nairobi. Then we have to plan ourselves on how we play our matches at home, how we play our matches away, because it's going to play a very big role in making sure that we achieve our objective of the season.
We believe that we need to be part of the community, and it's very important for us to support the people like the Kibera Black Star, because I think they're doing a wonderful job. They are young people, they are committed to success, and you know that in Kibera it's sometimes a bit difficult for them. So we believe that Rubis can support, Rubis can help. It's part of our commitment to do this kind of sponsorship. So it's a long-term sponsorship that we want to have with the Kibera Black Star, and we are very excited and happy about this one.
Last season, the major undoing in the team was the depth, as the chairman has pointed out. This season, we did sit down together with the board and the other technical bench members, and we agreed that for us to negotiate all these matches, then we need a very strong team. What we have done right now is that we have maintained the bulk of the team that did duty last season. This season we brought in quite a good quality of players, a blend of youth and experienced players who've been there. And we do hope that this team is going to make it better than last season.
Right, with that, we've come to the end of this live broadcast of News Watch and Hope TV tonight. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Tony Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Murithi. Have a good night and God bless.